Sorry about the fan noise. I'll try to get this over with as quickly as possible. That's the fan noise from the Walksnail video receiver. I'm trying to get to device settings real quick to show you that I have upgraded both the video receiver and transmitter to version 32.37.10. And get out of here. There we go. You'll notice right now I haven't done anything with fonts, sneaky fonts or anything at this point. I have HDOP symbol over here that I can understand. Miles per hour for wind, feet per second for vertical speed, feet for altitude, milliamp hours, volts. Good. Miles per hour. So my OSD right now is good. Again, excuse me, haven't done anything with sneaky fonts yet. And now I have applied the sneaky fonts. And most everything is still cool, except you see these symbols, as one viewer said, are not quite right. And I moved my HDOP from right down here up to here. I didn't want it butted exactly against the side or the bottom to see if there was some problems with it. That didn't fix it. Over here I moved the wind to the left a little because of the way its legend was doing. Didn't fix it. The rest of these seem to be pretty good. Now then, I did not do one thing that I am supposed to do, and that is, after I did the upgrade on the video receiver for sneaky fonts, you're supposed to come in here and reset all. So we're going to do that. This is one of the things I was talking about I would do to get those fonts, see how to get those fonts fixed, because we know that there's one gentleman out there that's flying these fonts with no problems. So we should be rebooting right now. Okay, so we are back to factory defaults. So I'm going to play with it some more and see what I can do now that I've blown it back to factory defaults. Okay, this is the way it looks after the reset of the VRX, I guess it is. I did move that up a little more. It was in another value down here. So now let's apply the sneaky fonts and see what happens. And I think I can do that right here if they're still in the root of this SD card. And I have to turn the transmitter back on. Boy. Just the way it is with electronics sometimes. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. There we go. Well, settings, display, and this is custom auto by default, it looks like. I'll try this font update again. It's doing its thing. Ooh, those fonts must not be in the root. Thought it did a reboot. Nope. But it does have to be moved again. And we can see that it stayed the same. But you can see with the green things that have appeared, that's part of the sneaky fonts. And my HDOP right here below the horizontal speed, I guess it is. No, be ground speed here. Still, I don't have symbols good for that, and my wind speed on the other side, that's not fixed either. That's unusual. So, right now, I'm not sure how you fix that stuff. There's nothing in there to change. Oh well, I did upgrade to the new version of the software. Yeah, and see, it's not letting me. That's the only thing I have in there. Oh, let's see what other things could be. If I go to 1080. Yeah, so that doesn't change a thing on my HDOP symbol. Not sure why that's doing that at all. We'll just go ahead and reset this, bring it back up one more time. Just going to power down the receiver. So, I assume, as I always do, that I'm doing something incorrect. And that's why those symbols aren't coming up correctly when Bonafide Pirate, as a viewer and I have discussed, has his working perfectly. And see, again, I still don't have the correct font. And here. Well, I'm going to play with it, but I'm going to go ahead and publish this video saying that I'm still stumped. I had told one person I had a suspicion that it was firmware version, but now that I'm upgraded to another firmware version, it's not working out. That fixes it. So it's something else. I'm not sure what else it would be. If I find a fix for it, I will post it. If anybody finds a fix for it, please post it for me. Thank you. Well, look at that. I got it working with the sneaky fonts. Just now, we'll have to see if it really is what I want, but let's turn the darn camera off. That lets us see this on a black background and makes it a little easier. But you can see now I've got my miles per hour here. Got my HDOP down here. Ooh, look at that. Got my miles per hour here on the wind with it back over where I wanted it. Feet per second, milliamp hours. Whoops, my voltage went away up there. Does that only work while it's powered? Anyway, some of you might be wondering, yeah, how about that? That and RSSI, I guess they were blinking at the time, and this is video TX power that I haven't taken out. So there it is, working. How about that? It may have worked in the old version. Why? And how I got that far is this gentleman's doing. This is I'll leave a link in the description, Avatar HD FPV Canvas MSP OSD on Ardu Pilot, how to set up. And in here, he talks about configuring the OSD. It is an MSP OSD, and how to set that MSP OSD up in Ardu, Rover, whatever. And he tells you here to set the OSD type to 5, go into the serial protocol for whatever UART you're using and set that to 42, reboot, and then right in here, about 4 minutes and 48 seconds in, and I'll set it for that, 4:46 I'll set it for, and I'll share that with you guys in the description by doing that right there. He says, basically, if you listen to him here, that the fonts will look funky. That's because Ardu Pilot fonts don't work correctly with Walksnail. And he tells you here what to do about that. And what he says here is to go in and use the MSP option to tell Ardu to use Betaflight fonts. Ooh, that's what this is for. Let me see here. That would be MSP options. He says set it to 4 or 5. Either one works for him. And then go on. So, if we go in and look at mine real quick for this platform. Well, I can do MSP underscore and we'll get to see some. Okay, OSD type here, you can see mine is set to 5. And MSP options, this is a bit mask. And for 4, enables Betaflight fonts. Now, they can also be set to a 5, he says. I'll just set it to a 5 now. He's played with it. Either a 4 or 5 works fine. But that got me to thinking, what if I use the Betaflight fonts in Sneaky Fonts? So I went back up to the Sneaky Fonts site, and you'll see now I have my Sneaky Fonts separated into Ardu Pilot fonts and Betaflight fonts. So I went back and got the Betaflight fonts file, unzipped that. It's 1.3 version, and then unzip the Contracts version of it. And I copied these 3 files to the root of the SD card for the video transmitter, and then I went in and did a fonts update. And that made it start working after a fashion. And why do I say after a fashion? Because I don't get the same symbols that the Bonafide Pirate gets. But I do get working stuff. So I've got to figure that out. When this pops back up again, we'll see. I've got a little quadcopter symbol there. I went and looked at his latest video, and he doesn't have that. He also has HDOP down here in writing, where I don't have that. He also has a different wind speed thing over here that I don't have. And I haven't been able to figure out why I have those differences. Now, I do know he seems to have gone in and done some editing on his fonts, which I'll probably do in the future. You can change the black outline on these and the white center fill that's going on here, and that may be where he changed what is being said here. I don't know. He may have a version of the fonts that's not available on the internet yet because he's working with the font maker directly. I don't know. The reason I made this video is because I thought when the new firmware came out for the new Walksnail Pro that might solve the problem. And as you've seen, I did upgrade to the 2.37.10 version on both the VTX video transmitter and the video receiver, and then I went back and played with those fonts again just for kicks and grins. And you can see right here the custom font is Betaflight WS. I guess that's Betaflight widescreen. I have no idea, but I do know it has made, and this is set to custom fonts, it has made my fonts more workable. But again, I don't have exactly what I see in other people's, so I'm still going to continue to work on it. But I did make headway with it today, and I may ask Bonafide Pirate, how'd you do that? I don't know. Alright guys, I guess that'll finish this one up. So, small steps forward. Thank you guys.